Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Arissa and this is Arissa Rue Resin Art. And today I am making some coasters, but I'm super excited because I made the mold. I went to Michael's yesterday and I found this little tray and I thought it was adorable. It's pretty thick, so I won't pour it this thick because it's got an inner lip here and I can't mold that. But I created 4 molds of this little tray. It was an unfinished ceramic. So I painted it with a pearl house paint, and then I did 2 coats of the polyacrylic gloss varnish spray, and I got a nice little shiny smooth surface, and I molded these today. And today I used the J Diction silicone rubber. I molded them earlier today, so it hasn't been 24 hours, but it's been a lot of hours. I used the J Diction, so now I have these nice little soft molds. I had some impurities in my cup, so you see there's a couple of impurities in the mold or in the silicone itself, but they're not affecting the mold. But each one of these, if you fill it up, it takes about 6 ounces, I think, but I'm not going to fill it up because, again, I don't need it to be so thick. So I'm going to use 4 ounces of resin approximately in each one. And so I have I'm using Knit Pro resin today. I have it all mixed up and I'm going to put some colors in these. However, I am going to get a little cup so I can, because I have 2 micas and I don't want to put a bunch of mica in that kind of situation. So let me get another little cup I need, and I'll get some alcohol, which this has enough in it. It was funny. I mixed up the resin initially to do just these 4 coasters. You'll notice these splat coasters here by Molds and Shapes. I got them, I think, last year. The resin I initially mixed up to make this, is that a little, what is that in my, what are you in my resin here? I think that was a gnat who decided it wasn't worth flying around anymore. It landed in my resin because it smells sweet to them. Speaking of, I mixed up all this resin. I had my respirator on, I had my gloves on, but I want to talk through this because my hand already hurts because of my surgery and I don't want to have anything else irritating on me. So this 10:10 at night almost, so this is the last thing I'm doing, and then I'm shutting this place down and going to bed. So I won't be inhaling this too much because it shouldn't be a long first part of this video. All right, respirator is important. All right, so let me show you my colors I'm using. I'm using 4 different things. So I'm first using the J Diction, this is the T Expert epoxy. I'm dropping a lot of names in this. None of them are sponsoring me. They don't know me. This is the T Expert epoxy pigment and the lime green. I'm using that. And then I'm using, what is this? Who is this? This resin coloring. It's a no-name brand. Perhaps I got it on Amazon. I think maybe. Decor. No, it's not. It's Decorum. It's not no name. Sorry, Decorum. I'm using Clover in their epoxy pigment, and I'm mixing it with a little bit of their lemon just to get a bright yellow. Then I have the Mateo in the Aurora going into one of the powders. And I have this little piggy in the Seaweed for my darker green. And then I'm gonna have one more cup because around the rim of there, I think I want some of my German glitter glass. So I have a mixture of like a turquoisey color, my green, gold, and then I'm gonna put a little tiny bit of my lime green chrome in that cup. So that was a lot. I just wanted to mix my colors with you. So let me grab some sticks here. I have my debubbler next to me. So I'm going to start with my micas. I'm going to wet them with some alcohol first. There's a piece of pink something in there. Oops. So I'm just going to do a few sprays of alcohol first. If you put your mica in and then spray it, it plumes up at you, and the goal is to decrease all of that floating pigment. So put that alcohol in first. And I do want this to be opaque in there, so I'm going to do a few little things. The Aurora is a green. All this is going to be green, and you'll see why after these cure in the morning and I'm able to demold them. So I'm just gonna wet this pigment just to break it up, or this mica, just to break it up. And because I don't have that much in here, I'm gonna put resin in this little cup to get this out of here, if that makes sense, rather than trying to scrape it out, because that will be a pain. So I'm just gonna put resin on top of that. And then it's gonna be easier to transfer this mixed to my bigger cup. Like so. And that way, if in the end, I don't have it opaque enough, I can still add to it by putting more alcohol in my little cup and repeating the process, because I may want more than this in the end. Let's get it all mixed up before I see what I'm working with here. It is very, very transparent, so I'm just going to put a little more alcohol in the bottom. I'm using another stick. Just drop some more of the mica in that cup. And then I'll mix this up too. And so it may not go completely opaque ever, but I just wanted it a little more than that. I've been stirring, like I stirred my whole big thing of resin. I think I mixed nearly 18 ounces of resin. Yeah. And I mixed it all with my left hand. It was so slow and annoying, but at least I have it. I have my left hand, so I don't have to be outside of my art room while I'm healing from this surgery, which is great. That would not be fun for me, to be off work for an entire month and also not be able to be in here. I don't even know what I would do. As it is, I can't work out and lift weights. So I don't know what I would do if that was the case. So I'm glad that that's not true. Let me grab a paper towel. Maybe. All right. I think that is going to be good enough here. Just wipe that off. And then I will do my seaweed, a couple of squirts of alcohol. Yeah, that works. Put that in there and break it down. So I didn't have enough alcohol in this, but because I had some, I can squirt in here because it's more paste-like right now. Oop, I'm just gonna grab my big alcohol because I don't wanna use my finger and squirt that many times because, you know, I sound like a broken record and I apologize about that. But, you know, that's life, right? Sometimes life makes you repeat yourself over and over again because it's the one thing that's hurting or that's present in your mind at the moment. So that is broken down well enough. Oh, the big stick. Get some of this in there. There we are. Oh, that's such a pretty color. This little piggy pigments do melt readily in resin really well. I do appreciate them for that. And there we go. And I think because this one is so dark, I'm gonna let it be translucent here because I don't think it will be opaque. And I'm not gonna fight for it to be opaque. I don't think. Off your stick. Yeah, it's actually pretty opaque. It's pretty dark, so that's nice. All right, let me get that one cleaned off. All right, so let's do my resin ink dyes, my colorants next. I don't think you have to shake these, but I always do just because it feels wrong not to. So I'm gonna put, oh, that's hard to squeeze. I'm gonna put a lot of this yellow. This definitely won't be opaque. This will be transparent. Absolutely transparent all the time. I'm gonna start there and see what I get. That's such a pretty color. I think I'll put a couple more drops of the green and a couple more. Ooh, that was squeeze. Oh my heavens. That's okay. Let's go with yellow and make up for it, right? Squeeze that too. All right, that looks good. And then I'm gonna put these in my debubbler. I'll have to, I'm sure, take the gas out a little bit. I'm gonna switch this so it's not so far away from me so I can make sure I get that mixed in all the way. I'll probably have to let the air out a few times, but I'm only gonna give it like 5 minutes because as I said, this is getting a little warm. Even though I decanted it, that's such a pretty color. All right, let's go with my green. Shake up your resin pigments before you use them. And you don't need a lot. Start there. Swap it and get that stirred up. I love that all 4 of these greens are very distinct, different colors. Oh, you need more than that. All right, I'm gonna give myself a little more of this green. But you really want to make sure you get it stirred in completely. Wow, these are actually, I'm surprised. Let me shake this up a little bit, make sure that it's completely mixed. I'm surprised it's not ending up more opaque than it is. And so to this one, I may add, if this doesn't come out opaque, I'm gonna add a mica, and that's gonna be my Imperial Emerald. Yeah, that needs some mica. So let me grab that. Where you at, honey? I have one that is open. There it is. Ooh, not a lot in there, but that's fine. I'm just gonna add that. I'll add that to this. All right. And I'm gonna give that a little bit of a pour of alcohol so I don't plume it everywhere. All right. Let's see what we get here for doing that. And that was like, again, that's my Mayspring Imperial Emerald, which is such a lovely color. I just ordered another bottle, a jar, because it's so beautiful. Yes, I love this color so much. So I can sit and degas this, but it is getting really warm, and you can see it is debubbling on its own pretty well. Let me spray this one. It's not really having a hard time degassing. I'll give it a few minutes. And so I will put you on a pause. I'm gonna throw these in this debubbler next to me, and I'll be right back. And in the meantime, I'm going to mix my glitter in. So let me get all 4 of these little things in my little debubbler. They just fit. I do know that. So let me do that. All right, I have about 7 seconds left. You can see I threw my glass in here with a little bit of that chrome powder. I didn't bother putting this one in the debubbler because I didn't have space and my resin's already warm. But I only had to push the bubbles down or let the air out one time, which is not bad at all. I did get a little bit of that darker green trying to bubble over, and it got on the inside of my dome here. So I'm gonna clean that off really quickly. I don't want that to stay. There you go. All right, let me put that over here. Alrighty, so I've got my colors. That resin ink one degassed really, really well. Everything else did okay. It's just a lot, and it's warm. So let me see. This feels like, is that something in my mold or in my mold? You know what I mean? Not that I want to scratch my mold, but I think that's within the mold. All right, so what you I don't know if you can see on the side, I took a little bit of my clear left because I want a clear layer in the rim of these. And because this is a mold that I created, and I create another one if I need it, I am gonna spray alcohol in these because I can create another one if I need it. I'm gonna go one by one and just throw a little bit of clear along the rim. Just literally just a little bit. Just like that, so it has something that it falls down into, because I want that glass in the rim for the most part. And I'm doing just one at a time so my alcohol doesn't evaporate before I get to it. Just a little bit like that. And all I did, I put it in this little cup just so it was more manageable for pouring. Just a little bit more. I don't mind getting resin on the inside rim of these because it comes out easily. Of these TCP, or these are mountain cups. The little cups, that doesn't ever want to come out of the rim, so that's why I don't get resin in the inside rim of that. On the outside rim of those. All right, last one. All right, so then I am going to just layer some colors after I get my glass down there. And for my glass, let me get a bigger stick. Well, maybe not, because I really want my glass to go down into the rim. I don't mind if it's a little bit on the edge, but I really do want it in the rim without scratching my mold. Because while I will end up putting a top coat on these because of what I'm going to do on the top of these, I don't want to have to, you know? So just being careful to let it go down, but don't scratch your mold. And it doesn't need to be a full rim of color, but I do want it down there. My resin is warm, so I gotta get pouring. It's right here. Can't wait to demold these in the morning. So yeah, this is the 4th of September. So I have 26 more days off after this. I miss the people who I work with. I really enjoy working with the staff I work with. They're really cool people. And we have a lot of fun while working. And so I miss them, oddly. Not oddly, they're cool people. I guess that does sound weird to be like, I don't know why I miss those jokers. Nah, they're cool. I like them. And you spend so much time each week with people, you kind of get close and you miss people when they're not around. And so that's what I'm experiencing right now. All right. So there is enough of that glass. I'm just going to use my finger to kind of move it down without trying not to do any kind of damage to my mold. Because if I use my stick, then I've got two things coming at my mold that can scratch it, and I don't want to do that. All right. Wait. Okay, so now this layer, all I'm going to do is go transparent to dark and everything in between. And I'm just going to layer on top of one another. No rhyme or reason on any of this. Put some white down here. That aurora is so pretty. Sorry, that's my feet on my chair. I'm gonna go here. All right, just like this until I get it full enough for what I need this mold to be. Because again, I don't want it to be full because there's just too thick for a coaster. I don't need, it's a tray that I molded. But luckily, you don't have to pour it all the way, and it still gives you a significant bottom to your coaster. So you want to make sure that if you're not going to pour your mold all the way, you're not going to have such a thin bottom that your item is not functional. And so it still does give me a nice functional bottom to this to pour it a little bit, which is important. I'm hoping I get a little bit of a crackle effect because this is so transparent, but we shall see. I think I'm gonna go, because I'm almost to the point where I don't want to pour too much more. I love the bronzy nature of this seaweed. It's so pretty. All right, and I think this is gonna be one of my last layers. Maybe a little bit more of the aurora, and then I'm gonna call it. And I'll put my extra resin into something else. The colors look so pretty together. Alrighty, that is all. That's all I'm doing in this mold. I'm not gonna put the heat mat on at all because this is already warm and I don't want it to flash. Not because I worry about the flash cure, just because I don't want bubbles to be trapped because it's already warm. And yes, I degassed it, but I just poured it. So there's gonna be bubbles in there. And I don't want to trap bubbles within the piece, especially since I have that transparent color in there, and you'll see it. And I don't want that for me, and I don't want that for whoever gets these coasters. So I will find something to put my resin in, and I will see you tomorrow morning to pull these off. I gotta take a shower and blah, 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 and go to bed. So I'm still gonna have another hour or so before I go to bed. I may do an open face heat mat, meaning I may turn on my heat to low and not put the cover on, thus so I don't trap heat in it, so I don't get that flash. But look how beautiful those backs look. They're so gorgeous. I'm not gonna twirl them, I'm not gonna swirl them, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna let them be. And I will see you in the morning. All right, good morning, you guys. It is time to demold this. I also am gonna do my stickers on it, my UV DTF stickers, and a top coat. And typically I would unmold the extras first, but I mixed my resin already, and I'm using the Total Boat tabletop, just because I want these to be really resistant to heat. So I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to demold the splat molds, and I'm going to do a top coat on those. I'm going to demold these, and I'm going to put the DTF stickers on them and do a top coat. But because I demolded, or because I mixed up my resin already, where's my alcohol? I want to make sure that it doesn't flash because it is so thick. So I did decant it into little 1 ounce cups just to make sure that it's not as deep. But we're gonna get going here, and I'll start with my splats. And so these, I just put different Let's Resin chameleon flakes on them, and I think they're lovely. But I do want them to be shiny. This is a matte mold. It's more for eco resins. And I love that shape. It's a very popular shape at art festivals or art markets. Love them. And I'm just preparing because I have holiday season coming up, and you know, coasters are a very big seller for me every year. And I want to make sure I have enough. All right, this video is getting too long, and this wasn't actually the main event for this video. I wanted to do my other coasters. So all I'm gonna tell you here is that I coat the back of my coasters with petroleum jelly. And sometimes, it usually makes it a little easier to take off the resin drips. This time it didn't work so well, and that was, I believe, because I did eventually put on a heat mat and it melted the petroleum jelly. Lo and behold, odd. But I didn't want to focus too hard on these coasters. I'm going to coat the back. I'm going to use my tabletop resin, my thicker resin, to put a flood coat on there. A bunch of resin's gonna drop. That's all I'm saying. I'm cleaning them with alcohol first just to make sure they are not greasy on the top, and have some music because I'm done with this section. All right, bye. And then look for little impurities in your piece. Whoop, just dropping stuff. All right, I think that's good for now. So let's get these demolded. I'm gonna clean my hands just to make sure. Get that out of here. Okay, all right, so let's see our main event here. That has grease on it. Let me take it all the way away. Check my hands again. They don't feel greasy. All right, these demold so well, so quick, easily. I love them. I will definitely have a sharp edge because I didn't fill the mold up all the way, which is fine. Oh. Well, let me clean off this thing here. Give myself a barrier. All right, so there is one. I love how that looks. I don't feel any bubbles in the edge, which is awesome. And that's in part because I put that little bit of resin in first. Beautiful. Yep, that feels great. Oh, it looks so pretty. That's good. They look amazing. Not a single bubble. I'm so excited. Now I need to figure out, I'm gonna put these stickers. I love Highland cows so much. And so I've got these these 4 stickers. It's almost like a little family, the mom and dad and 2 little children, little tiny baby Highlands. And I'm gonna put those in. Always clean your mold before you put your any kind of sticker down, especially the DTFs, because you have to pull that 2-part down. And you really want to make sure that it's going to stick. So you don't want any grease on there that will impede that process. So cleaning it with alcohol, super important. There we go. All right. I think I'm gonna go Papa, Mama, and just like this, actually. I think I'm gonna go with that, these this way. Okay. Again, no grease on me. You get one chance to put these down. So you wanna make sure you're exactly where you want them to be. Stickers and sticker back paper is fun. All right. Peel these from themselves slowly at first, because you can have it stick on there, and then just make sure you're exactly, as it falls, make sure you're where you want to be before you let it touch. So I like it there. And don't put it all down at once, kind of go slowly. And the secret to getting the top coat off is to not let it go all the way on. So I'm gonna hold this clear part, put that down, so I don't have to try to find a clear part to pick up again. And then you wanna kind of push it in there and start to peel slowly. Like that. I took a little bit of his hair off, so put it back and peel slowly. I'm not concerned with like little tiny bits of flowers as long as it doesn't change the look of the flower. There we go. That's one. We'll go second one. That looks so cool. I love Highland cows. They're so cute. All right. Then where do I want the, because there's a bunch of glitter right there. I think I want to bury that just a bit. So right here, let the bottom touch. It's these little things hanging off of her hair, her ears. Those are the things that will peel off. So you really want to make sure you go slowly around those. And if you have it, if you are able to, peel down because it helps them to stay on. So for her, I'm going to turn her to the side. All these florals, those will tend to come off. So press those down a lot and peel slowly. And again, if you get something staying, just put your sticker right back, press it, and peel it again. So that went right back on. I don't want her horn to come off. So you peel really slowly around that horn. All right, and so now, because I'm peeling in the correct direction, these little things here, they won't come off. Oh, they'll stay on my coaster, but they won't come off on my clear. And then I've discovered this. These are cute. They say, "You are amazing and you are smart," for the little guys. I've discovered, for me, cleaning the surface again. I clean the surface first because if you put alcohol on these kinds of stickers, they leave them streaky. It leaves them streaky and I don't like that. So I tend to not put any alcohol on these after I've put them down, because it makes these little streaks in them, and it's really hard to get that off. So again, keeping in the corner up so you have somewhere to peel, making sure there are no bubbles, and starting your process. Ooh. I put his horn down a little more. And that's part of the reason I cleaned my gloves before, because I don't want to transfer any oil onto this, because I don't want to have to clean it with alcohol. This one's harder to start. There we go. All right, now I want all my letters to stay. So the letters, it tore right there, which is fine because it's kind of up still. So while that part is up, I'm gonna grab the blade and keep it up. so I have somewhere to peel from when I come back to the top. Because I'm not gonna stop here because that clear has torn. I'm gonna keep on going. I'm just pulling slowly. And maybe when I come back up, I don't want to peel up on these because they may leave or come off, but I'm going to try it because they are attached to the underside here. There we go. So it could be that the letter clear will come off with this peel because it's not torn. But you want to make sure your letters stay on your piece. Perfect. Got it. Awesome. Last one, a little baby girl cow. I want her to have a little more glitter shown, so I'm gonna go that direction here. And put her right in the center since she's a little smaller. All right, sticky, sticky. Get my flowers pressed down, get my horn down, and then start peeling again. Just take your time peeling off the top layer. There is no rush. There you go. Going in this circle to make sure I get all the pieces in my coaster. There, perfect. Love them, love them, love them. Looks good. All right, so now I'm just gonna take my little resin cups. I'm not gonna spray it. Let me grab my lighter here. And just torch a little bit of the top. Sorry I say ow so much. It just, I forget that my hand hurts. So this is just an ounce each or so. So I'm just gonna pour each one in there. I'm gonna do them all. There we go. That's enough because I can do it after the fact too. Take a sip of coffee because it's here. And because this is I'm acting as a coaster on these and not a tray, I don't worry so much about the depth because it will still have enough depth in them. But I just want a nice coat. And this resin is warming up already. You can see how thick it is. It's wonderful. All right, so now I have a little bit of extra. I have 2 more of those little cups in case I need them. But for now, let me put this down and I'm just gonna move it. Sorry, that really sounded like I just made a cow pun with the moo, but I didn't. I'm not that clever, but I heard it after the fact. So just slowly getting it to the edges, constantly moving it. You see how thick it is. It's so slow and it's wonderful because it's gonna set really quickly and I like that. And it sets really hard. The full cure time on this, I think Total Boat says it's about 7 days. Now, I have a week and a half before my next market. I don't know if I'm gonna bring these or not because I like them to sit for 30 days no matter what. So I may not bring these. Also, you don't want to torch or warm up this, not torch so much because you don't hold it there. If you take a heat gun to this resin while it's on top of a UVDTF sticker and it gets too hot, it can curl the sticker. Ask me how I know. I have a tray there. It was gorgeous until the sticker curled, and then that was a little disappointing. So don't heat the resin on top of your UVDTF if you can avoid it. It can definitely affect the sticker beneath it, and that's a disappointment. All right. Just making sure, taking your time. You can torch this really quickly. That's not the problem because, again, you're not holding your torch to the resin to heat it up. You're just popping bubbles. So you can definitely do that. I see a little gap here. Oh, no, I don't. That was just the glitter. All right. So let me move him around. Got some resin on my hand. I don't want it on my sides. And I can use my stick, but I have a moment. I'm not in a hurry. Making sure. There we go. And then the last one, I will add a little bit more to her. It looks like I can use just a touch more. I don't want to drip on the sides. That's why I'm turning my stick to make sure it's not dripping when I come out from the middle. Cleaning off my hand the whole time. And let's move her. All right, so I had a little bit of an uneven flow there, so I'm just going to push it just a touch. These are so super cute. I'm so glad I used the glitter glass in this rim. That's so adorable. So this one is moving a little too slow, so I'm going to help this one to go because I don't want it to come too far up the sides either. And I'm going to check my pieces here the whole time, making sure no gaps are forming because these are running off. This is a flood coat, so it's going to run. I'm going to waste resin in doing that flood coat. Those are good. I'm going to torch them. I'm not going to put alcohol on them because it leaves like a sheen on your resin, and I don't like that. Oh, I'm out of fuel. Let me get a little bit more here. As I drop everything. I drop so many things now, it's ridiculous. I don't want to go over my piece in case there's some crud. Let me see. I think I see a little something right here. In here. Oh, I do. What the heck is that? Wow. That's major, not a little something. That's just something. Wow. I'm glad I saw that. It was hidden because it's clear on clear, but I don't want that in there at all. All right, I'm gonna get these covered up. Whoop. Okay, guys. guys, these are done. I love these splat coasters. I don't know if I like them with the resin over it, the resin flood coat over it, as much as I did with them a little matte. So I like them, but they're not the high priority thing here. However, I do want to show you. Let me grab a paper towel here. I don't want to do it all. I'm not going to take all the Vaseline or the petroleum jelly off the front of it. I don't want to put this on too much just because the resin's new and I don't want it to indent my resin. But you see, let me see, can you see? I have drips there, but with the Vaseline, they will, maybe. Wow, whoop, yeah. You know what? I wonder. Usually they come right off like that one. And I think it's just my hand is weak because they do come off easily. However, I don't want to cut myself because I'm trying to do something with a hand that doesn't want to work. Let me see if I can get this one to have things move a little bit easier. I think, see, like that one went. Like those will come off. They'll move in there. But I think I'm going to wait until this resin is cured a little bit more, like that. See, that one's coming right off. Where I can actually forcefully touch the resin underside. They'll come off, but I'm not gonna force it because I don't wanna ruin the flood coat and I don't wanna hurt myself or cut myself trying to work with a diminished ability hand right now. So, but let me show you up close here of all these. Again, without touching the fronts or the back, but they look really pretty and I like them. I love this one the most, that color. But I think they're really pretty. But again, I kind of like them a little less glossy. That mold is so pretty on its own. And if you put the chameleon flakes in it, you get a little bit of a gloss. It just isn't as bam in your face. But it is a very pretty mold, and I love the shape so much. These sell really well for me. But let's get to the main event, y'all. Look at these coasters. They turned out so well. I have not yet trimmed the back because I wanted to harden up a little bit before I use my deburring tool. No, I'm not going to try it because it's too soft, especially since I had this on my heat mat. If I hadn't put it on my heat mat again, it wouldn't be warm and it wouldn't be too soft to use the deburring tool. But I don't want to take a chunk out of here, and that's what you can do if you use your deburring tool on a warm piece of resin. You can chunk it away, and I don't want to do that because these are just the cutest. Let me make sure I'm in the right area for you. I'm going to come around. Look at him. He's so adorable. Sorry about that glare. Let me go back a little bit. There you go. So that's one. There's another. There's just a little tiny bit of crushed crystal in the top coat. And so you get a little bit of bling every once in a while. And the backs, I love them so much. They're so pretty. I think I'm going to do the clear dots rather than a piece of cork on these, just because I love the back too and it's so pretty. I think it's part of the beauty of these. But they make me so happy. I love them so much. So as far as the drips that were on this table from this flood coat, I am cheap as hell and I couldn't just let all that resin go away. And so I demolded one of my extras. This was just a little hippo mold that I made. Love that. And then I had a koi. And then a little flower. So those are the extras from the resin last night. And because I scraped it, I was actually able to pour another hippo, which is not cured yet. And then I have these little ghost molds, these little chocolate molds. I'll make candy canes out of these. And so they're not cured. I can't take them out, but I'll make, what the heck did I just say? I think I just said I'll make candy canes out of here, and that literally makes 0 sense. I'll make keychains out of these. Oh my heavens. And so from those scrapes that I was just gonna let cure, I have this and these little tiny things like this. They're like $5, I sell them. And then the keychains are $8 each. And so that's almost $30 that I made because I didn't waste resin. So don't waste resin. But these will be keychains with little extras and stuff like that that I dangle from them. And I got a hippo. But the stars of the show today are definitely my coasters with my Highland cows. I'm gonna make more of these. I probably won't do them all on video because how many times do you want to see me make these? But I have lots of DTF stickers. I'll show you the stickers I'm gonna add. So I'm gonna make a set with just flowers on them. It's a matter of deciding what the background color is gonna be. So I'm gonna make a set with these little flowers on them. I'm gonna make a dragon set. Oh, let me show you the birds. I'll make a set with these little blue birds. I think they're adorable. I'll make a dragon set with these dragons, and they all fit in there. I already tested it out. So these dragons, and then I have these adorable little gnomes. And so I'll make a set with gnomes. So those will be different sets in there. Let me take them off of here. I want to see if they're the same height. It looks like this one may be a little taller than the others. Oh, barely. It's all good. But I think these are so cute and I'm so happy with how they turned out. I swear I've been making coasters for years and these are the cutest ones I've ever made. They're so adorable, stinking cute. But they're gonna definitely cure for 30 days before I sell them. Let me know. I had so much fun making these. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with me. Please give me a subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Come see what I'm gonna make next. I have so many molds that I gotta use. So let's come and play with some resin with me. And help me set up for the holiday season. Watch me do that. Thanks for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye.